Alright, so this is going to be my Mr. Shifty submission for GDQ for the any percent category. And we're just going to start it off because it's quite long. Alright, so 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, so the first thing to note about this game, it's a top-down action game in the same vein as like a Hotline Miami. So it's a very fast-paced game. You die quite easily, and it's action-focused. Fast-paced, top-down action games. It's pretty much what it is. Now, also the main gimmick of this game that separates it from other games is, as you can tell, I can teleport. So we have this little bar right here that shows how many times you can teleport. We have 5 teleports, and we also have this little meter right there. That meter gives us a slow motion ability. It's called, I'm not even sure, since it's technically vulgarity, I'm not even going to say it. The BA meter, XD. But, yeah. So, basically, if a bullet gets shot at you, then it will trigger this to go off, and that little meter will keep going down till it's 0, and during that time you have a bullet time motion. So it's always good to keep that up, and it's also good for specific times you want to use it, so that you can get out of sticky situations, and also so you can kill people really fast. Now this game is very laggy, so the game generally is timed in game time because there's quite a bit of lag, but that's really not a big issue. And also, if you notice, I'm gonna try and keep my teleports. I always want to have at least one teleport on ready, if I can. Because if you don't have any, then you're a sitting duck because you have nothing. And especially if it's a melee guy, because even if you were to have the slow motion ability, you have nothing to really protect yourself. So what we're gonna do here is pretty much just kill these guys, and then this is. In general, there are no real bosses of this game. There's just like there's like waves of enemies that are like a boss end game thing. Because honestly, in top-down action games, bosses just don't really work out too well as as you would see in like Shovel Knight or like Hollow Knight. But yeah. Also, you can pause right here during this, and it will save a little bit of time on the in-game time. And it also doesn't waste any RTA time, so there's no point not to do it. This game keeps track of your least amount of deaths on each level, and also your best time in each level. There's an achievement for getting 0 deaths on all levels combined, and there's an achievement for being under a certain time. Having all of your times together. And yeah, we're playing in the Japanese version just because it saves quite a bit of time over English. English is the second fastest behind, and then I think it's like Portuguese and then Spanish, and I forget what else. So another thing about this game, there's 6 major sections of the game basically. 3 sections of 6 levels, and basically each section gets harder than the last. So these first 6 levels are much easier than the last 6, so it's pretty linear, the difficulty scaling. It's never like the hardest levels in the very beginning or anything like that. So the earlier levels are a lot more about better movement and execution rather than trying not to die, and in general, yeah. So here we're going to focus a lot on better teleporting, and as you can see, okay, that was bad. Like here, we're gonna. So like, since we don't have any slow motion here until now, we wanted to make sure that we're staying out of the line of sight of all these guns. There we go. Now we can teleport into here before like that little effect happens, because the area still exists, so we can go in there and start killing them instantly. And yeah, we are listening to Hotline Miami soundtrack just because I don't generally like to listen to the same soundtrack over and over. That's the only thing. Ooh, that usually doesn't happen, but that's because yeah. So that guy was starting to come because I had already hit something, and he was just close enough that you'd be able to hear it. So that doesn't happen very often, actually. Now here, this is going to really show off. So sometimes you don't need to kill anyone to progress, and so what we'll do here is just make sure we just keep our teleports at the hand. Otherwise, we're sitting ducks, of course, especially with all these explosions. That's an invisible character. Now we're just gonna... Okay, we're good. It's the only thing we need to do. None of these people need to die. The only thing that triggers that door opening is this over here. So we just wanted to make sure that we just got over to here as cleanly as possible. And also, as you can tell, this whole like punching then teleporting thing is the most consistent way to keep up your speed. The fastest possible movement in this game is when you just spam the teleport, but that doesn't work long term. So the fastest way to move for long distances is to teleport, punch, etc. So punch, teleport, punch, teleport, punch, etc. And that's the fastest way we can move through the game. And also, as you notice, some of these gun guys are not very good with their aim, especially these pistol dudes are very bad with aim, as you can tell. They sort of pick in time to shoot. Like they'll lock on, and then even if you move out of that area, they'll shoot a lot of times. So again, these first few levels are really not too much to talk about. I'll go over like specific things about the game in general, but once we start getting into the second set of 6 levels, and especially the last 6 levels, the game just becomes so much more difficult. So yeah. And we're going to grab that weapon right there, because we're going to need the other one when we come back over here. Dude, really? Come on. Oh, okay. That usually doesn't happen, but okay. Also, I should have waited here. That's a much more difficult way to go through this level. Yeah, so we just wait till here, and then you can just, bam, right there. And we just gotta pick these up so we can break these. These are laser blockers. Later they'll be used also for another mechanic that'll be shown off on level 7. And now our goal is to bring this, what we're holding right now, to the end of the level. As you saw, we just killed quite a lot of people with that at once. Okay, then. Yeah, that was bad. Wow. Not too big a deal, really, though. But yeah, that weapon can kill quite a lot of people in quick succession. And that's why we broke all the glass in the beginning. Yeah, and as you can see, like, generally you're not able to kill multiple people at once, but yeah. And that's why I decided to get the further weapon earlier, as you saw. And the second we picked it up, we just want to throw that instantly. Yeah, this level, there's really not much to talk about, honestly. It's a very straightforward level. Alright. The next level is a bit more interesting, though. There's a lot of little cool things about it, but this level in general is just Kind of bland. Nothing too special about it, honestly. And yeah, the Hollow Mammy soundtrack is really good. I really hope that game also gets accepted, which it won't, sadly. We just wait for this guy because we want to have slow motion for this next screen because it'll make it a lot faster if we get a little hairy. There we go. As I said, it's much faster if it gets hairy. We cannot... Okay, so I also forgot to mention, you can preserve a teleport through a level. Also, let me turn down this music a little bit in this cutscene. There we go. So you can preserve a teleport between a load, and what that allows us to do is the second that the next level loads, we can instantly teleport. And it's pretty obvious to understand what that does for us. Also, if you notice, we can preserve like a weapon attack between teleports, so we can start an attack and then teleport instantly to another person, and we'll be able to kill 2 people with that same swing because the kill box is still active. And here the trident is a really cool weapon, and we're going to be using quite a lot of it until the end of this little bit because it's very, very useful, as you can probably already tell. Yeah, and there we go. Also, if you notice, there's a bit of a different... There's like a kill order we have, so like a priority order for who we want to kill. And it's pretty easy to tell who. In general, we want to get rid of guys who have guns first, so these purple dudes are our current top priority until we unlock more dudes, because they have the weapon that can kill us the easiest. And in slow motion, it's best to get rid of the melee guys first, because they take a lot of hits. Now we're going to go over here. This guy's still alive. Oh, okay, there we go. And we're done. Yeah, so, as you see, a lot of these levels end in these like boss-type rushes, which are really cool. I mean, enemy rushes. Much better than a boss. Now see, on this level, we're first going to see these metal weapons. They're a lot more durable than other ones. In the original private beta of this game, these were invincible, and so like they would never break. So basically you just pick one up in the beginning of the level, and then it was just a complete like joke to beat the level. But it was immensely fixed before the game actually released. I don't actually need to kill anyone in here. It's just easier to get rid of the majority of them, so we can get back a bit easier. Alright, sometimes I miss a door, just a little bit annoying. This door, at some point it's green. If there's a way to get through there, we can just instantly skip this, but we don't know how to do that yet, or if it's possible at all. There we go. Now here we want to break open all these, so because there's going to be a bunch of different guys coming at us at once. And the important part is that we always have access to a weapon. Also, sometimes you can tell Unity breaks a little bit with these animations, or the game does, I don't know. And there we go. We're going to throw a couple over here just because at the end of this wave we want to be over there. Because that's where we're going to be exiting the game. Exiting to the next screen, so. Alright, so we're gonna pick up this one, not this one. This one's already has too much damage on it. And what we're gonna do here, we're just gonna go right through everyone pretty much. Shoot at me, come on. There we go. I want to use that so I can get through here quite fast. And then I wait a little bit right before it ends so that I can have enough teleports to get to here as quick as possible. Sometimes this guy is invisible for some reason. Other times he's not. I don't know why, but yeah. Ooh, that was good. Now we're just to wait for teleports again, and we're able to kill these guys super fast. There we go. That was actually a really good screen. Probably one of the best I've ever done that levels. That screen, I mean. So here we're gonna go left first, and then come down, and then back up. That's the fastest way to get through this. And we're good. Okay. That's actually really difficult if you don't have a good strategy. Like, if you're not using what I just did, you often will die really fast. And it's actually, that's like one of the more difficult ones if you don't have a good strategy in general. But we're getting through it relatively painlessly, so that's good. Alright, so this is the last level of this little section. So, and this is also the most difficult because of the all these bits are more like the next 6 levels. Rather, right, yeah, that guy died. Alright, cool. Sometimes there's one guy who won't die quite like how he's supposed to. He's supposed to die from the door, but he didn't. Okay, then. This game isn't perfect. But I mean, it's probably obvious from the performance. The game is very fun, but a bit buggy. Sort of like Hotline. So here we just want to just teleport past everyone. We don't. It doesn't matter what we do here, we just gotta wait for these to explode. And yeah, we're good. Alright. Now we just teleport through here and we just want to hit this little cutscene as fast as possible because no matter what, we'll have our teleports back during that cutscene. Punch these barrels, make them go off. Oh, come on, dude. And then we're good. Now on this screen, it'd actually be a lot easier if we were able to preserve a teleport because we'd get through here quite a bit faster. And also this screen is deceptively difficult because we don't have slow motion here because it got wasted up, and we don't have a really good way to get in there like safely. We had to just jump in because otherwise we get killed by the turret. So yeah, it's a lot more difficult than it looks. And it's actually pretty easy to die there. Now we're gonna go through here breaking these things just so that whenever we need a weapon we can get it, because this is going to be a long little sequence, and we're going to try for the most part to keep these walls from being broken because there will be AI spawning from down there and we don't want them to have free reign of shooting at us, otherwise we'll die quite fast, and that's no good. And also we're keeping these wooden ones because they're really good for killing these waves from down here like this. Oof. Ooh, okay. Yeah, it is very easy to die on this, as I said before. That wasn't too bad. That was only like that was only after the first wave down here. It's really easy to die on like the last set of guys. So let's hope we don't do that again. Just like Hotline, it's very easy to die in general, so we just have to keep that in mind. It's very different to like a game like Super Mario Brothers, where like every run is deathless. It's more about trying to reduce your deaths and make your deaths not count as much, rather than having a perfect run. There we go. That's how it was supposed to go. Now, see, I broke open the door, so now it's a little bit more dangerous, but in general, it's not that big a deal. And these guys do spawn in everything in this game. Like, there's no randomness in where guys spawn. They all spawn exactly how they're supposed to. There's no, like, confusion there. There we go. It's also a little difficult to talk when you're doing this run, but yeah. Oh. Oof. Come on, man. Alright, we're not gonna die again. I haven't died this much on this level in so long. Bad feel. The next levels make it more interesting because there's quite a bit of like content that's added in, like a lot of mechanics and different AI, which make it a lot more interesting. These first six levels are really just to get you acquainted. Then the next 6 levels are going to introduce a bunch of stuff, and then the last 6 levels will just test you on your skills and all those, and add like 1 or 2 things. But really, it's the first 6 levels to teach you the basics. Next 6 levels to add in the cool things about this game that are too hard to throw at you all at once, and then the last 6 levels just to test your abilities. And I'm hitting 100% CPU, I can feel it. Not good. I can feel it so hard, Jesus Christ. Okay, okay. Also, I did not mean to say that. Oof. But usually I don't die this much on the screen. So that shan't be an issue. Alright, so this time we're going to start, it just instantly starts up this level. We're just going to break through this wall. And once we do that, we're currently in the thing that doesn't allow us to actually teleport, but now we can. So that's what is called a shift blocker. That's what he's telling us right now. And he's also surprised that we just got out. Look at his face. Got all zoomed in like. And now what that means is we're sitting ducks whenever we're in this. So, yeah. There's gonna be quite a bit throughout the rest of the game where areas that are like this. So, yeah. This is the first major mechanic that's going to show off to us. And also in this level as well, in just this level, ooh, if I almost got it, I can punch that guy to make his dead body hit right there, through that and instantly break it. They're also going to show off another AI. And also, as you just saw, first let me just... There we go. Whenever we're in the shift blocker, we want to just constantly spam punch. Because as you saw, like normally we do the punch, shift punch. Because the punching makes us go just a little bit further than like if we're just walking. So holding down like walk and just pressing the punch button will make us go just a slight bit faster than normal. And so that still applies when we're in the shift blocker area. Now if we get really lucky, okay, he hit the wall but he didn't actually damage it. Sometimes he'll hit the wall and damage it a bit, and that'll save us a little bit of time. But it's like pretty much completely RNG. This is a really good screen right here. It's because the developers made it specifically so that if you play it perfectly, you can hit these cycles really, really well, which is really good of them. Now we're gonna wait for this and then there you go. You can go early, but it's insanely difficult. Now here we're going to be swarmed by a couple of these guys. Sometimes they do stuff like that. I messed it up a bit, but he can still... There we go. No, he didn't get hurt quite enough to... So these flamethrower dudes, as you see, if they use flamethrowers, which is really hard to dodge, it also doesn't get triggered by our, what you call it, the slow motion thing that we have. But the also thing with that is it also stays around a lot longer, and besides that, whenever they die, if they hit against a wall hard enough, they'll set themselves on fire, and then after a little bit of time, they'll explode. So you gotta be really careful when you're dealing with them. And whenever you kill one, you gotta know whether or not they're gonna explode or not. It's really important to keep track of, otherwise you'll die a lot more often. Now here, I almost got it. You can just barely, if you do it perfectly, get up just enough such that you'll be killed instantly, and then you'll die during the cutscene, which will save you roughly a second and a half, I think. Yeah, and yeah, that was this boss section, like this enemy rush right here, is one of the more difficult ones in the game, but we got through it relatively painlessly, so there's that. I don't know how that was the best I've ever done it. Clearly I have a lot of time to improve on that, but okay. If you say so. Glods are glods, I guess. Now here, this is an auto-scroller, and I won't be too cheeky here, because if I do it too cheeky, I often screw up. I'm not as good as Tri-X to put all the swag strats into my auto-scrollers. One day I wish I could be. Offline runs of this game go better just with the lack of lag. Also, the nice thing about this auto scroll is you don't have to be directly on the door, because it gives us a little bit of time, so you don't have to be too aggressive at the end. Like, if you slightly forget, you don't need to go directly towards it. Okay, usually I don't die there, but also, if you do that, if you hit the door perfectly and get good RNG, then you can have the door just go just far enough to kill one of those guys. There we go. Now here we just gotta punch our, just gotta get our way over there. There's no one to kill. The door's just already open. So we just get here as fast as possible. Now right here we're gonna wait till the top guys are out, and then we just punch up. And we're good. You can go a little bit faster and they'll start to try and attack you, but it's a lot riskier, of course. And as you can probably tell, we're going to be coming right back down here, so... okay. I did one extra teleport than I wanted to. I did one... Alright, that time I don't know why I messed that up. And now we turned off the shift blocker for this level. You have to get back down through here. Now we're gonna have to kill all these guys, but luckily any item in the game will instantly kill if it connects with someone. So that includes pillows. And also, if you might be paying close attention, there are some invisible AI. Like, some of the dudes came in as invisible. That's just a bug with the game currently. Or forever, if they ever decide to update this. We don't know. This game is really good, but it didn't get enough sales, I bet. It's a shame. It was free on Twitch Prime for a little bit. Also, I might be... okay. Yep. This is why you don't run out of teleports, like a doofus. There we go. Okay. We just want to do that so we kill those guys faster than we can normally. Okay, that was really scary. Now these guys over here are not that big of an issue. Their friend though, there we go, yep. And we're good. Easy. Yeah, that was not too good. Now here we want to get directly onto a mine and then just come over here, throw it against the wall, and we're good. Saves us a little bit of time. Now over here we want to do the same thing, but we're going to attach it to a dude. We're going to do the same thing, attach it to a dude. Same thing. Normally we can get all the last 4 together and kill them, but sometimes that happens. Either way, we got through it pretty painlessly. Okay, that's a really difficult screen, but we got through it pretty easily. There we go, okay. I don't really like that screen because if you have the slow motion meter still, then it's pretty much guaranteed you'll lose it. Where's the last guy? Oh, come on, dude. Really? You too. You too. Come on, man. Wait, I did this really bad. I've never had it that slow. Oof. So normally you cannot go through a flame, but we don't really care about that rule. So we just punch right through it, skipping all that. Because usually you'd be in the shift blocking area, but we don't really mind that too much. This is so laggy right now. Oh my god. It'd be so nice to not be streaming this and playing it at the same time. Honestly, saving so much CPU time. This game is very, very unoptimized. What do you expect though of a small indie dev team? So we're gonna throw a couple mines over here just to speed up this process. Alright, there's one guy alive and he almost killed me. Okay, we're good. Now here we're just gonna jump on this mine, wait for it to kill us, and we die. And that skips that little cutscene. We save a little bit of time doing that. Not too much, but it's definitely noticeable. It's also pretty cool speed tech. Death warps are always cool. There we go. Let me just get to the end. Stage 10 is a little interesting. So we're just gonna go right to here. We did that pretty good with the teleports. And now what we want to do, these two AI have slightly different range of visions, field of visions. So the guy on the right here will see us first because he's slightly closer to us. And also I think they have slightly different, even besides that. And we do that because if we have both of them coming at us at the same time, we'll die very easily. But if we don't, then, yeah. Also, I'm going to pause right here and go to the bathroom. Be right back. Okay. There we go. Of course that wouldn't happen in an actual marathon run, but you know, it's just a submission video. Oof, I did not mean to do that. There we go. Okay. I hesitated a slight bit. It's also because the lag slightly throws off my idea of when I should throw it. Go. Oh, come on, man. I forgot you had to actually teleport. Because it looks very similar to one that you can actually punch. So different objects that drop the, like this right here, this board right here will drop one. And you can also just punch it if you wanted to. Oh, come on. There we go. We just want to focus on killing these gun guys first. Also, yeah, it's not exactly perfect, the whole slow motion thing. Forgot to mention that. It's sometimes not, yeah. There we go. Okay. That screen in general is pretty difficult to get through if you're not paying attention too well. And also the first part, if you do it in very slightly different ways, it'll end up having you die. So, gotta be careful with that. There we go. That's exactly what we wanted. And as you saw, for some reason when you throw the mine right near the door, it doesn't really stick onto anything, and then it'll go right towards that guy right there, instantly killing him, which is nice. It also preps the AI to react in a way that we want them to. Now, this is probably the most annoying screen in the entire game, as you can tell already. Okay, we saw teleports, we're fine. And we did it first try. Oh my god, I am a madman. I almost got it first try, dude. No. Oh my god, okay. I really messed up. I just wanted to get this cool strat. There we go. I used to be so good at that strat. I also don't need to do it. It doesn't even like save any time. It's just to look cool. Or whatever. If we don't bring a melee weapon to the screen, as you can probably tell, it takes quite a bit of time. Really, dude? Really? How did he not die? There we go. That's... oof. Yeah. Oh, that was dumb. But it doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. And also, don't worry, that was not the actual main villain. We still have much of the game to go. There we go. That was a really good one. I usually don't get that well. There we go. And grab the weapon, and then we're going to the next screen. Cool, cool. I might die. No, okay. Actually, that went also really well. Okay, this is pretty decent IL so far. There we go. Thank you. I really appreciate it when the second I say something like that, the game just says no. I'm not even like saying that ironically. It's always nice to be put in your place the second you think you're better than you really are. Now here we're gonna go sort of all the way around this level. And yeah, I wasn't worried about actually dying right there. I knew I wouldn't. Alright, cool. Now on this screen, we just get through here without using that. Okay, whatever. You can gain it back right here. Grab this weapon. Okay. Now on this screen, we gotta jump right through here. Kill these couple guys. Now the thing is, we need to get to the top left, kill this guy fast, and then there we go. That's exactly what I wanted. All right. Yeah. It's really easy to die there. If you're in a very, very slight different position, you'll pretty much die. I found. Okay, that was pretty decent. The levels get more stressful the longer you go. And now we're coming up on the last level of this section of 6. That was the best. Okay then, I guess. If it says so. Whatever. I just don't expect to get golds when I haven't played this game that much recently. In version 1.0.1 and earlier, you can skip this level. Or it might be 1.0.2 and earlier, I forget. It might even patch in 1.0.3, or is patch in 1.0.1, where you can just skip this entire level. But the only issue is if you were to play on that patch, a lot of the other there's a lot of other level design issues, performance issues, and glitches that can actually end up. I'm pretty sure it's actually slower to run that version of the game, even based off of the couple-minute time save. Just because you'll die a lot more often when you shouldn't have. There's worse performance, so it ends up making the game less enjoyable to play, and also makes it easier for you to die because of inconsistent performance. And then also there's a lot of level design issues that makes beating levels longer because they didn't really take consideration of certain things. Now, as you see, there's these guys spawning in. That was the whole reveal of this level, is that, oh crap, he can do this whole teleporting people in type of thing. Also, I meant to go up, but there we go. And that's what's going to be shown off throughout this level, and it's going to be the basis of the rest of the game. We can now spawn in any item and any he can, the main villain. He can spawn in any item or whatever, or spawn in people whenever he wants to, wherever he wants to. they're never coming in randomly, which is nice, so you'll get used to it. Sort of like, it just like makes a level, instead of having to always have them pre-spawned in, you can just have them come in at a specific time, which makes the game a bit more interesting and more unique. And yeah, the reason I just stayed I went to the top part is because that's the one that will lead us right into the door afterwards. Now here we have all the... So there's quite a bit of guys, that's why I decided to bring in that, even though we have all these weapons. Because there's so many of them that it really just saves a lot of time. There we go. And as I said before, any weapon kills in one hit, and to any AI. So even, again, the pillows or anything, every AI will die to them, to any weapon, so it's pretty useful information. So whenever you see something and you're in a pinch, you can always use it to kill someone that's more difficult to kill. Now this is the last screen of this level, and we're just going to teleport right towards him really fast. And then come down to the bottom left corner, wait for these barrels to spawn in, punch them out of our way. We want to kind of group them up as much as possible before the mines start to spawn, and then stand right on the top of mine, throw it. We just want to group up the explosions so they happen slightly faster, and it'll make this little bit go by a little faster. And then we just come over here and wait for her to talk. And that's the end of the first 2 sections of the game. Now we're moving on to the last 6 levels, which are all insanely more difficult than the first 12. So that was just stage 12. And we're now moving on to stage 13, which is Assault. Same as in Hotline Miami, because it's a reference to the movie Assault on Precinct 13. And we're going to be introduced to, very early on in this level, these guys, these rocket launcher dudes. They're as beefy as those big guys, but they have rocket launchers. Pretty self-explanatory. You can tell now they're pretty much on like the top of our priority list. Because they don't have a concept of self-preservation in any way, shape, or form. So if they see you and you're near them, they'll just take one for the team, pretty much. As gruesome as that sounds. We do that just because it will reduce a little bit of lag, and I'm pretty sure it causes these guys to spawn a little bit faster. And we bring a weapon to this next screen just because it makes it a little bit easier. Okay, that was my fault, because I meant to jump into here, and then there we go, yep. Now I want to grab another one up here just because it makes this a little bit faster. This bit a little bit faster, I can't speak. And we're done with these guys, then we come up here, come onto this side of the door, throw this at him. And we want to come up here, grab this. This will also make this next screen a bit faster. Again, in general, it's preferable to have a weapon to the next screen, but sometimes it's so far out of the way or not worth it that you just sort of ignore it. There we go. That's what I wanted. This screen is really difficult, as you could probably tell. It's very hard to get through without dying, I must say. Now here, we just wanted to trigger that so that and all these, is we want all these to break so that the lasers can come through. And then we just wait for everyone to die. And we're done. Yeah. Now here, a bunch of guys are going to spawn, and a bunch of flamethrower dudes. We want this to break open, and then, as I said before, if one of them dies, I said if one of them... If... Okay. Oh my god. That was something. Alright. Okay, come on. There we go. If one of them dies, and they're hit hard enough, they'll set on fire. But also, if they explode, they'll make other people explode. So, yeah. Pretty self-explanatory. What? Oh, there's a guy, wait. How is he alive? I have never seen one of those guys live through, like, that little bit. Except me just completely missing it. There we go, okay. Okay, now we're done with Assault. As you can probably tell, it's pretty difficult. And that was the easiest of these last 6 levels. So, yeah. The hardest level I'd say is level 15, Profit Loss. But, yeah. Now, we're introduced to probably one of the best AI in the entire game. These fine ladies are ninjas, basically, and they have katanas that... Not only is the katana, of course, everything is going to kill us in one hit, but they also can, like, do dashes at us. And not only once, but, like, they can do it twice, so they can, like, dash and then dash again, sort of like how we can teleport multiple times. So, they're really easy. It's really easy for them to kill us, so you gotta be really careful with them. Now here we're gonna try and minimize the amount of glass breaking we do. You'll see why later. Because we're gonna have to come back through here, of course. That wasn't obvious. So I'm trying to not use up too much time, but also try to get rid of these guys. Come on, man. There we go. Alright, didn't break too much so far. Just gotta get these last couple guys. Alright, we're good, we're good. This is going slow. That was really close. Okay, slot 2 and then we're done. And yeah, so when we come back through here, it's really difficult if you have a lot of broken glass, and you'll just die very, very, very fast if you're not paying attention. Or even if you are, it's like the ways that you normally go through it will just be slightly different. Oh, well, you'll have to go through it differently, and then you'll hit pre-broken glass that they'll break themselves, because they spawn in these explosive canisters that the lasers will hit. And if you go through it normally, like really fastly, you will never hit them. So yeah, it's just a real cluster truck, for lack of a better word. Also, cluster truck is a fun game. Also published by the same people as Mr. Shifty, Tiny Build. Good publisher, by the way. And I'm not sponsored to say that. We're just gonna throw these mines away first of all, because they'll just get in our way. Mister, could you... Thank you. There you go, thank you. We're gonna come up here. Oh no, we just blow up the elevator. Ooh, what a shame. so we gotta wait a little bit. And then, oh no, we spawned in more guys. We're gonna wait for them to come down here a little bit. We're gonna grab a mine, throw it at them. Usually after the second mine you kill all of them, but that guy for some reason went to the left without his friends. But, okay. And again, these all spawn in very consistently, so we know exactly what we want to target first. We want to get rid of the guys with guns first. And of course, we don't like rockets. So in general, now roughly, we basically don't really need to care about the punching dudes as much as we used to. They used to be the biggest issue, but yeah, they're pretty much pushovers at this point for us. Alright, and as I said, we're going to go back right through here, so all the progress I made going through here a bit... That was close, that was close. Yeah, okay, I'm good. Alright, now just 2 more screens left in this level, and then we'll be good. We don't want to hit one extra, because otherwise here, if we break our thing too fast, they'll kill us quite fast if we're not paying attention. Slash if we make very minor mistakes. So, yeah. And now we're on to probably the hardest level in the game. Profit loss. Level 15. And we're introduced to another new AI. And these fine ladies have AA-12s. If you don't know what an AA-12 is, it's an automatic shotgun. I don't think, even if you didn't even know what an AA-12 is, I don't think it's necessary to even understand why that's an issue. But yeah. Basically, automatic shotgun, so don't really need to say much more. It's pretty obvious why they are a real pain if you are not careful at all. The second you give them a chance to attack you and you're not prepared, you're just going to be dead. Because the shotgun shoots very fast and a lot of rounds back to back really quickly. And they also just have in general a faster reaction time than other AI because they're introduced so late into the game that they're able to do that. And I forgot to mention, this is probably the most difficult screen in the entire game. As it probably has become obvious, there's quite a lot of people spawning in, a lot of explosives, a lot of mines being spawned, and a lot of everything. So you gotta keep everything in your head and try to remember where the mines will spawn, and just, yeah, it's not easy. I got through it pretty painlessly, but that doesn't always happen. And as you'll see here, even when I do that nearly perfectly, she almost hit me twice. The top left, the bottom left, the left side, A12 girl. Okay, it's really hard to talk during that part, but yeah, we got through that, and just don't get shot by the rocket. And there's one guy left. Where's the last guy? What? Oh, I forgot her. I always forget her, because if you don't keep an eye on her, she just sort of ends up as right there, just kind of ignoring the entire battle. Now here, we don't need to kill a single AI. We just need to get to the end, so we're just gonna do that. Alright, so it's really important we got this weapon because it makes this a lot faster. There we go. As I said, they like to dash at you. Okay. As I said, sometimes they're invisible because this game isn't perfectly made. And as you can see, my computer is hitting 100% CPU. Not the greatest. Issue with having a quad-core CPU. Now, if I'm holding down here. Okay, come on. Let me sit back to there. Oh wait, come on. Alright, so when these bigger dudes start coming at me, I'm just gonna hold down and keep spamming punch, because that every single time I punch, once there's a little cooldown where I can move a little bit, and then it'll bring me down, and that makes it so I'm just slightly far enough away that because if I just hold up or just like normal, then I'll just keep going up so close, and then they'll just be able to kill me like a lot faster than normal. But if I just hold down and just punch directly up, versus just because otherwise in 2 punches I'll be at the top, versus 3, it just brings us a little bit down, which keeps us a little bit more safe than normal. Oh, come on. That he should have broken that, but he didn't. Alright. Alright, that's all of them. Now we come down here and have to wait for these guys to move out of our way. Oh, I just messed it up. Oh my god, that was so bad. This is not an easy level. Like when I do it perfectly, it's nice and all, but that's not always the case. That was a really good first bit. For some reason they were a lot slower than last time. As in like the first time I was going through here. Also, as you can see, sometimes a little bit of RNG. That guy right there is not supposed to be there. He should not be coming at me right now. There's a bit of RNG because of weird physics in their version of Unity they were using. Oh, come on. They're really annoying right there. If I don't kill them, then they get rid of this slow motion, and it makes this a lot more dangerous for obvious reasons. that was a super punch, which is what we call whenever you like punch and just get like kind of jutted a bit more forward than you usually are. And that's just because weird physics in Unity when you're doing the teleport or punching. It's hard to explain. You also don't know everything about it. Now on this next screen, just like this last screen, we're just going to go right to the end. The only issue on this one, specifically, is it just takes a little while to get there. And we need to keep track of our teleports. And if you make one wrong movement, you'll just have a missile in your face, so it's not very good. Yeah, so for some reason, those AI just don't really mind that laser and will just walk directly into it. One day they'll learn. One day. That's really bad, actually. I have to play really safe from now on. Okay. Fine. Okay, that's another one of the most difficult screens in the game, but we got through it. And then it's followed up by another pretty difficult to execute fast screen. And it's followed up by 3 of these ladies, again, who are pretty hecking difficult to kill. Oh, come on, man. If that was at 60 FPS, I would have been able to teleport before she shot me, but you know. These last 3 screens of this level are just the entire reason why this level is difficult. Come on, man. Come on. Okay. Again, that's a very difficult screen. And I was surprised I got through the 2 ones before it relatively safely. But things happen. Alright, so we're moving on to the second to last level, Machine. The Machine, specifically. And there's quite a bit to this level in terms of speed tech. One thing is... there's a skip on the second screen, which I found not too long after the game came out. Actually, it might have been before the game came out, because I was in the private beta for this game. But basically allows us to skip like an entire level within like just a couple seconds. So it's the entire screen in just a couple seconds, and we can skip through most of these levels, the screens, without killing anyone. Like right here. Okay, I messed it up, but we just go right through, and pretty much all the doors are always green, so we don't really have to mind. And we just need to go through the level breaking all these lasers, and then we're done. And you'll see. But all of these, we don't really need to mind too much about. We don't really have to care too much about killing everyone because that's not necessary. So this is not like Hotline Miami where every level except for one you have to kill everyone. We can just go. That was so close. That was so close. Oh my god. Alright, so again, on this screen, so this is an interesting screen because what you'll see in a second is, remember the shift blocker mechanic? Yeah, so that gets toggled, and so that's going to go on and off. So we got to plan our attack accordingly. And we want to focus on getting away from the pistol dudes at the moment, because they're the easiest guys to kill us. Because melee guys are just easy to get away from. And right here, there's nothing really left to this. I stand corrected. I've never seen that before. That was beautiful. If someone could clip that in chat, that'd be great. That was beautiful. Now this is the first screen in the entire level, which we actually have to kill everyone. So we're going to go ahead and do that. And as you can see, the whole point of this level is showing that like his ability to teleport things in is just fading away. He's kind of losing the ability as we've been destroying his place. And we're about to make it even worse on him. Alright, I died, whatever. Very common. We're about to make it a lot worse on him. As you can see, they can dash at us quite a lot. You didn't see it much because I was playing really well on most of the levels where they are. But he's like losing the ability to spawn in exactly what he wants, and he's sort of abusing it. And we'll see later on, like, it's called the machine because this is the machine that allows him to do it. And we're going to destroy that, but then there's one last level, and that last level he's going to start spawning in things he didn't really want to, basically. He's sort of going crazy because he knows we're one door away from almost dying. He like tried to throw everything at us right before we come here and break his machine that lets him do it. That's the thing. And we just punch it 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 times. And we're done. Now if you go directly left, you can die if you're unlucky and hit a very little small pixel bit right there. You can accidentally teleport into a spot where they didn't think you would be able to die, but it's just large enough for the explosion. Because they wanted to trigger after you get past it, but yeah. You can teleport right onto it and die and then have to redo that a little bit, which is rather annoying. And now we're on the last stage of the game. Which, if I remember correctly, is named The End, quite fittingly. but I don't speak Japanese, and I haven't played the English version in a little bit. Now there's a very difficult strat which I can hopefully hit, which I found myself. Alright, I got almost there. I missed one teleport. But you can actually end up being right behind the glass, so you're never actually in the shift blocker there. And it saves a little bit of time. It also looks really cool. Alright, now on this screen, this guy right here is a little weird because the wall doesn't fully... The issue is the wall doesn't really spawn in fast enough for us, so it's actually a little bit more difficult than it looks. There we go. And also I ended up losing... I'm dead. I ended up losing shift blocker on that last screen, which I really did not want to happen. The slow motion. Which makes this a lot more difficult, because those guys all have M16s, which is not nice. That was a noise. Okay. Alright. We're still in there. This might be a sub 120 if we do it perfectly. Actually, it might. No, it won't be, because I was thinking of in-game time, not actual time. I don't really memorize RTA time. I just have a general idea of how fast it is to beat the game, RTA, but not like level specific. We don't need to kill everyone here, just the majority. Yep, there we go. Now we're on to a really difficult auto-scroller, which I pretty much only during my last PB or a little bit before that was when I really figured out the best pattern to do it. Because without a really firm knowledge of where to go, this is insanely difficult. We want to keep this door just for this guy right here to our left. And he didn't die, so it didn't really matter either way. Okay. Yeah, that's cool too. Oh, so close. That doesn't usually happen. Again, even with... Alright, come on. Even with a perfect one... Even with the perfect strategy, you can still mess it up. Especially when the AI is so finicky, especially when the performance is so not consistent. This RTA would actually be quite lower without such a bad amount of lag. There we go, that's what normally happens. Again, they're not really too intelligent in the whole self-preservation mindset. They don't really care too much for that. Now there's just these two last guys and then we're done. We can break glass, do whatever we want. Just wait for this little bit to go away. Now this is the last screen of the game, pretty much. Technically it's the third to last, but in reality it's the last one. Sort of like how in Hotline Miami there's two last levels, but they're really not that much of anything. And also, brooms are really good weapons. Fun fact. If you didn't know that for some reason. That's their entire reason we brought these brooms up here. Is mainly for that right there. And then for these guys, makes it a little bit faster. And we still have it, which is actually because I usually only bring up one. Because I keep forgetting to bring up two. But since we have two, it will make this just a little bit easier. Alright. And that's all the AI dead. And so his ability to teleport stuff in is completely gone now. And time is in a second. And time. So, without all of the lag from streaming this, the RTA time can come down quite a bit, actually. But I'm submitting a 125 estimate anyways, because that's generally a good time, because I don't know how well the computers perform, and also because it also, even with my setup, even with lag, it accounts for a lot of RNG and issues. Because very rarely this game could crash. So, this is a failsafe. Other than that, that's the submission video. Goodbye. Stopping streaming, restarting.